Chris Popper here in Bangor. I'm joined by Mark Shields, the head football coach of the MDI Trojans in the Allen Insurance and Financial Coaches Show. And Coach, a tough game on Friday night, losing to Lake Region. In it for the first half, kind of 16-8, although they had a touchdown turned away or called back just as the clock expired. They weren't happy. But, block in the back, that's what happens. And, but talk a little bit about the game and give us your impressions.
Yeah, I felt good going in. I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we were well prepared. Um, you know, the concern going in against Lake Region is not their physicality, but their athleticism. I thought we were probably the more physical football team that night, but they just have, for starters, they have, like we talked about before on the show, they have great depth because I think they have 35 or 40 guys on their roster.
Oh, people were commenting about that. It was like, yeah, they were a page and a half of players, and it was like, whoa, shouldn't they be an 11-man team? But good for them to have that many kids going out for football.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, they made the playoffs last year. They got to the regional championship against Greeley last year. So they had a really good season, and Coach Meehan's, obviously doing a nice job recruiting down there, and they're definitely moving in the right direction. And yeah, I mean, they were able to, they definitely made more plays than we did. Offensively, we were trying to grind it out, and to their credit, they had a good scheme. They were really sending a lot of backers. They're blitzing us a lot, which gave us some problems. Defensively, I take responsibility too. They came out in a formation, a tight tripped formation that they hadn't shown before. So it took me a good quarter to kind of figure out what was going on and how to adjust. Credit to Joey Bennett, one of my defensive ends, and he and I kind of talked, and we finally figured that out. But at that point, they had scored a touchdown off of that formation that we had trouble with. Basically, they were outmanning us on one side of the formation, and I didn't have enough guys over there, and where my guys were aligned was poor. So I take total responsibility for that. So, yeah, things just kind of snowballed. I thought the first half we looked pretty good overall. We gave up that touchdown late, which hurt. And then we came right out. We had the ball first, but we didn't do well on that opening drive. And then I think they may have scored the next drive. Credit to the kids. We got down 2 scores, and then we hit Henry Trombato on a tight end pop pass, which was a big play for us. And I kind of thought, okay, we can get back in this, but it just seemed like we were behind the 8 ball all night long. We just could not seem to overcome, Lake Region and catch up to them and eventually beat them. So,
kudos to Asa Joyce. I had a couple of great kickoff returns throughout the night. Like maybe 30. It must have averaged 35, 40 yards on his kickoff returns.
Yeah, Asa, that was kind of, he hasn't been doing that for us. And we ended up putting him back there this week, and we know he's a real dynamic, fast kid, athletic kid. But you never know how kids are going to respond to that. That's a whole different world, returning punts, returning kickoffs, and he did a great job. You're right. He was able to give us some decent field position all night long. I think they saw Lincoln Gray back there, and I would assume he's a starting running back, so they thought, well, we'll kick to this other guy because we don't want to kick to the Gray kid. And sure enough, Asa was phenomenal. He did a great job.
Right. And then I want to kudos to the defense because at one point it was 1st and goal. And I can't remember if that was in the first half or second half because I threw away all my notes this morning. But it stuffed them and actually ended up taking over on the 2 yard line.
Yeah, that was a huge goal line stance for us, considering we were having a hard time stopping them. The thing with that team is I felt more confident stopping them in short yardage situations
Yeah.
because we were the bigger, stronger team than I did when it was whatever, third and long or something like that. Because when they decided to open it up and spread the field and get the ball to their athletes, um, we had troubles with that.
Yeah. I mean, their quarterback, he had a great game throwing the ball.
Yeah, Meehan is. We had trouble with him down there last year. We weren't prepared for him. They had another starting quarterback last year. He ended up getting hurt that week, so they started Meehan, and he did very well against us last year. So we knew he was going to be trouble, and he throws an incredible ball.
So we now turn our attention to Waterville, and that game, which I did not know until Friday night, will be at Colby College. Rather than I didn't know if Waterville was going to rent lights, and that always proves a little challenging to illuminate that entire field with those rented lights. But they're going to play at Colby, and that's also much better because their press box was condemned last year. So and plus then your mother won't be able to be that close to the sidelines and near you.
Yeah, and
So
she's coming. So I'm gonna have
with
to.
with the Life Boy soap this year
Oh man, I'll probably be putting time out. That's best case scenario. Um, yes, we are playing at Colby College on the turf, which is very exciting.
Yeah.
Uh, Waterville apparently they've been playing one game a year there, so it happens to be MDI this year, which is great. So yeah, we'll get down there at 7 o'clock kickoff, and Waterville. You look at their record, you say, well, they're 0-2, but they probably played the two best teams in large school 8-man. They played Camden, who just knocked off Mount Ararat,
Right.
and they played solid against them. And then last week they played against Spruce Mountain, which is looking like they might be the top team in the South. I don't know that for sure. Uh, and they're going to be hungry for a win. There's a lot of pride, a lot of tradition at Waterville. They're very well coached. Coach LeBlanc and his staff do a phenomenal job down there. So this is another huge test for us. I mean, we're just going to have a great week of practice. We got to get better. I mean, there's some things we definitely got to get better at, or we're going to go down there and have problems again.
Well, and Waterville always plays MDI tough. I mean, it's never been a. I mean, my memory's going, but I mean, it doesn't seem like there's ever been an easy game against the Waterville Panthers.
No, absolutely not. Especially in 8-man. They've won a couple Northern Maine championships, been to a couple state championships. They've knocked us out one of those years in the Northern Maine championship game. So, they're going to be tough. They're hungry right now.
Right. And you don't like hungry Panthers. Uh, Talk to me about injuries. It looked like escaped pretty well without anybody really banged up.
Yeah, no, we're healthy. We're a healthy football team. Other than the ooey and owies as we talk about. So we're good on that front at least.
Well, that's good. And I thought, I mean, there were a couple instances of turnovers, but I mean, it did pretty well hanging on to the ball. I think there was one interception, and but in terms of fumbling the ball, pretty well the backs hung on to the ball pretty well.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I know we did throw at least one interception, but I don't remember any turnovers. I'd have to look at the stat sheet, but yeah, that was much better than from the week before. We had a couple turnovers up to Holton, so we are cleaning that aspect up. I know
Right.
Coach Byrne works really hard with his running backs. They do ball security drills all the time. Every day they do ball security drills almost. So, so that's key, right? In winning football games and winning close football games, especially, You have to win the turnover battle.
And not a lot of penalties. There was one unsportsmanlike conduct call, but that I think was about it in terms of flags against MDI.
Yes. Yep. So, yeah, we try to limit those as well. Yeah, we did have one, but we've cleaned that up, and yeah. So
Oh, I'm sure that was cleaned up, right? I mean, very quickly after that occurred. Um, yeah, but yeah. So I mean, it's what time will you leave on Friday to head down there? And we'll kind of talk about that on Thursday, but the plan is what? Probably a 2 o'clock leaving the school.
yeah, I think that's exactly what it is. I believe it's 2 o'clock. So yeah, it'll take by bus a couple hours to get down there for sure, and that should give us hopefully plenty of time. You got to fight the traffic getting through Ellsworth.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, that's a battle. All right, Coach. Thank you very much. We look forward to having the game Friday night. That game will be on the internet as the Red Sox will be playing Tampa Bay on Friday the 19th, but we'll have that game on the internet, also on our free downloadable app sponsored by First National Bank and on any Alexa-enabled device. And then on Saturday afternoon, I will have the Ellsworth Camden Hills game. That game will be on the radio, in addition to all the internet access as well. And yeah, so we're on to week three. It goes fast, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I know. I was looking at the calendar. We're already into week 5 of the season. So
Right. Yeah, just crazy how it goes so quickly. All right, Coach. Thanks very much. Have a good week at school, and we'll talk to you on Thursday.
sounds good, Chris. Thank you.